you've obviously, your career is taking you across the world, and you do a lot of programs and run a lot of groups. But where did that journey kind of start, and how did it grow? I know you kind of touched on that earlier, or maybe a different question is, how does it can't we say the word? How is it different from your personal work, and how do you kind of keep that going? As for you as well, Millie, because you know freelancers.
So fortunate, travelled the world with poetry, which is amazing. Joelle Taylor, an amazing poet, says swear down.
Yeah,
I love
Joelle. This is something happening here.
But Joelle says poetry's been her passport, and I'm the same. I just wouldn't have left the country if it hadn't have been you've got to, because you've got a job. But in terms of the balance, which is a really good question, I was saying to Georgia when you kind of mentioned it, and you're like, don't answer it now. But I needed to get rid of the crap. There's loads of life admin and stuff that can really interfere. And what I've started to do recently, though it did get blocked up with life admin, I was trying to sort out my house. But I'm trying to hold steady. So I get 2 days a week. This is welcome to my calendar, everyone. I get 2 full days a week where I can work, where my partner is definitely looking after the children, whether they are sick or not. And on those 2 days, I try and fill that with as much as possible. So at the moment, I'm going to London twice a week and cramming everything on the train. And then what I'm trying to do is keep a week every month sacred. So those 2 days, I'm not doing anything other than development work. So that's reading poetry, analysing it. It's I've started writing out poems that I love. So I've got a notebook of poems that I have read and that I love, which is something that I think is really important for my practice, that I'm writing them out by hand, so I'm learning them in a different way. Filming stuff, and so trying to really hold that time sacred. But obviously something happens, a boiler breaks, or do you know what I mean, you've got to sort out a bike or something. So trying to be very strict. And also hopefully tomorrow I'll start waking up at 6 a.m. before my children wake up, so that I can do some stuff before they wake up. So that's my other plan. We'll see how that one works out.
What about you, Millie?
Can you repeat the question to me?
So
I'm getting lost in everything you're saying. I'm I love it.
So obviously your freelance work, but how do you kind of make time and for your personal work? And do you find it hard to do that, or do you wish you had more time to?
I think I don't know whether this is a good thing or a bad thing, but I do think I see all of it as the same thing.
Well, I was just about to say, maybe that wasn't the right question, because maybe it all does.
Yeah.
That is what you do.
I think I am, for me, so I'm creating a show at the moment. It's my my debut solo show. Thank you. It's called There Was a Little Girl. It'll be in Bristol on the 17th of November. Come. But I know I've been making it for 3 years, but it feels like a life work. It feels like my life's work. It feels like it's autobiographical, but it's about my journey on identity and all of these things. It's about growing up, kind of bridging the millenniums. It's kind of being born in the 90s and growing through that period of Big Brother and tabloids and really child models and this weird period of time where things went crazy, and then we're trying to bring it back now. But actually, what's the residue of that? But I think that I don't know if I do switch off. I think at the moment I'm absorbing everything, and that's my channel and that's my outlet at the moment. And I think that other times my outlet isn't necessarily into a piece of work or a piece of writing. It is my outlet is into friends or conversations with friends or socializing. I think that's what I do. I'm still trying to learn how I work and what sort of systems and structures I work in. But so I'm trying to be more boundaried. I'm definitely not going to start waking up at 6, but I don't have any kids. So, but yeah, no. But yeah, I think just trying to. It's also, I think, as we've had lots of conversations today already about how, we really throw ourselves into the work, and especially being freelance, it is really hard to stop and like switch off. I think a lot of that comes from like that drive of being told like it's so difficult to do the thing that you're doing, like it's so hard, so you've got to keep going and say yes to everything. And I massively agree with all of that, but I also think that like as creatives we have to protect ourselves and like understand that, you know, you can still be creative, but you don't have to, you know, be doing like writing a poem or doing a piece of work. Like I'm just trying to remember that there are creative things that I like to do that don't need to go into a show, you know. So did that answer your question?
Yeah, no,
Cool.
It's lovely.